Welcome to the 2017 Hope Award, presented by Pathstone Foundation. I'm Jack Peets. I'm from Bell Media's 1029 K-Light. I'll be your host this evening. And I got to tell you what a good-looking audience we have here tonight. You guys look awesome. How about a round of applause for yourselves? Come on, give it up. You guys look great. And Dr. David Suzuki is here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Now, of course, you can't do an event like this without terrific sponsors. We've got to thank RBC right at the top of the list. RBC, and their 7th consecutive year as our title sponsor. Also, a big thank you to Falls View Casino as our host and Hope Awards sponsor. And thank you to Scott Bond and Birdie Printers for their generous support as our VIP reception sponsor. Of course, we have a lot of politicians here tonight, of course. A lot of politicians. I won't ask you to stand, but just smile and wave, and we'll hopefully see you out there in the crowd as I introduce you. Beginning with Chris Biddle, MP for St. Catharines. Jim Bradley, MPP for St. Catharines, is here tonight. Wayne Gates, MPP for Niagara Falls, is in the house. Jim Diodati, the mayor of Niagara Falls, of course, is here this evening. Walter Senzik, the mayor of St. Catharines, is also here. As is Pat Dart, the Lord Mayor of Niagara-on-the-Lake. Ted Luciano, the mayor of Thorold, is with us this evening. And a shout out to John Maloney, the mayor of Port Colborne, with us. And April Jeffs, the mayor of Wainfleet, is here tonight. Representing the city of Niagara Falls, we have councillors Wayne Campbell and Joyce Morocco here this evening. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce Francine Dijksterhuis from RBC, the Regional President, Southwestern Ontario Region. Francine.
Good evening, everyone. It is my distinct pleasure to be here with you alongside my many RBC colleagues in support of Pathstone Mental Health, and we're delighted that this is our 7th consecutive year. I'd like to recognize a few of my local colleagues that are here, the local leaders of the Niagara market, Manoj Johans, maybe you can give a wave, David Day, Michelle Duke, Mark Eaton, and Adam McGinnis. And many of their team members are here in support of this important event. I would also like to recognize Denise Matek, Senior Account Manager, Real Estate Markets, and I know known to many of you here in Niagara. Denise is very active with Pathstone and has served as a board member for the foundation since 2010. She has played a crucial role in the success of the annual Hope Award Gala as a top ticket seller, as well as helping to introduce Pathstone to many who have become regular supporters of children's mental health. To you, Denise, we thank you on behalf of RBC for this really important work. We are thrilled to have Dr. David Suzuki here tonight, and we look forward to hearing from you later in the program. And I have the distinct pleasure of sitting beside him, so I'm really quite honored. David, as you well know, you've been a trailblazer when it comes to environmental activism, and we applaud your many accomplishments. As Canada's largest bank and Canada's largest company, we recognize the importance of the environment and the impact we have on the communities in which we live and work. Since developing our first environmental policy at RBC in 1991, We have focused on environmental management, policy development, and program development to reduce our impact in areas of climate change, sustainable communities, and fresh water. It is something that is very important to us, to our country, and we commend you on your leadership in this arena. RBC also has a long-standing commitment to health and wellness, not only through our financial contributions, but through our human resource practices as well. People of all ages and cultures are affected by mental health-related illnesses. We know that 1 in 5 Canadians will experience mental illness during their lifetime, and that many of these disorders begin in childhood or adolescence. Since 2008, we have been focused on supporting children and youth through the RBC Youth Mental Health Project, a program that helps us provide funding to organizations like Pathstone who are working to help youth during their transitional years and to help their families access the right care at the right time. Since 2009, as part of these and other programs, RBC is proud to have contributed over $200,000 to Pathstone to support programs that benefit children and youth right here in the beautiful Niagara region. We truly believe that empowering and supporting our children and youth will give them strength, skills, and confidence they need to be successful adults, and we applaud the very, very important work of Pathstone. And our commitment to youth has never been stronger. In fact, on March 28th, our President and CEO, Dave Mackay, announced RBC Future Launch, and this is something I'm very, very excited about. It's our largest ever commitment to help young people prepare for the future. More than a single donation or a one-time marketing campaign, we are combining all of our relevant resources, capabilities, and people, and are dedicating $500 million over the next 10 years to help unlock the potential of youth. Yeah, amazing, $500 million. And maybe more importantly than the money is the way our teams and our company and so many of you in this room commit to activate and participate in what that money, what that funding will provide. By supporting youth on their path to success through best-in-class partnerships and by leveraging the expertise and passion of our employees, we at RBC are committed to helping youth find meaningful work experience, connect them to mentors, and help them build 21st century skills. This will help ensure their success and help with access to the right mental health resources if and when they need it. As I look around the room this evening, and it is a very big room, we are thrilled to see so many of you here to support the necessary and so important work done by Pathstone. Once again, on behalf of RBC, it is our pleasure to be here once again to support Pathstone, the very important work you do, and we look forward to enjoying a wonderful evening with all of you. Thank you.
I hope you're enjoying your meal tonight. How about a round of applause for the Falls View Casino? Is that amazing or what? Incredible. And thank you to Deborah and Dennis Sundstrom for providing the centerpieces for tonight. If you'd like to take yours home, you can by just putting $20 in the piggy. Put 20 bucks in the piggy, and that beautiful centerpiece is yours. You can take it home and plant it if you'd like. We're going to do a little game now. We played this game last year. It's called the Heads or Tails game. I don't know if you were here last year, but we raised about $5,700 playing this game. And it's very simple. You start by putting $10 into the piggy. You can put more in if you'd like, but $10 will get you into the game. And if you're in the game, you'll stand up, place your hand on your head if you think the coin's going to be heads, or place your hand on your tail if you think it's going to be tails. And again, that's your tail that you'll place your hand on. And, well, you got to be clear about the rules. So while you're putting the $10 in the piggy and getting ready for the heads or tails game, let me tell you about the prizes. And by the way, it's the last person standing that wins. If it's heads and you're on your tail, you sit down. If it's tails and you've got your hands on your head, you sit down. Last person standing wins. And first place tonight will get 4 tickets for the Shaw Festival, one night stay at the Oban Inn, dinner for 4 at Ravine, plus a flight of wines, and it says here, more wine. So all that is for the first place winner. And second place gets a great prize too. It's Great Wolf Lodge water park passes for 6 and a gift certificate for the Garrison Inn. So are we ready to play heads or tails? Okay, if you're in the game, stand up. Everybody who's in the heads or tails game, please stand up. Wow, I think we're going to do quite well tonight. I see a lot of people standing up. All right, I have the coin. Heads or tails? Hands on your head if it's heads. Hands on your tail if you think it's going to be tails. Everybody ready? Here's the first flip. And it is heads. Heads. So all the tails need to sit down. All right. Let's try it again. Heads or tails? Everybody in position? Heads or tails? Woo! Got it. And it is tails this time. Tails. So all the heads have a seat on your tails. So how many do we have left? Can we get a count? Carrie, any idea how many people are still standing?
20 over here.
About 20 or so, and well, let's do another round then. Heads or tails? Hands on your head or your tails? Are we ready? And it is heads. Ooh, there's a head over there. I see a few heads. But I think we cleared a lot of people. How many do we have left now, Carrie?
I think I do one more.
One more round? All right, heads or tails? Hands on your head or on your tail? Everybody ready? Let's see if I can catch this one. And it is, thank you, I won't. It's heads. Heads.
I want to call everybody up.
Okay, everybody's still standing. Why don't you come on up to the stage and we'll finish this little contest off. Okay, come on up. Join us here on stage. I see 4 or 5 anyway. Again, first prize is 4 tickets for the Shaw Festival, a night at the Oban Inn, dinner for 4 at Ravine, plus a flight of wines. Second place gets the Great Wolf Lodge water park passes for 6 and a gift certificate for the Garrison Inn.
Oh, good, we're all women. Okay, women.
Have a stand right over there.
I know, it was a good, I know.
Okay, it's all ladies and
Yes.
and one guy.
Weird.
2 guys. Is this going to take long? Okay. Are we ready? Heads or tails? Hands on your head or your tails?
All right.
What? Tails. There we go.
That's pretty close,
Okay.
right?
And it is heads. Heads. Sorry, tails.
How many we down to?
Wow, we're down to 3 now. 3 remaining.
I don't know what to tell you.
Heads or tails?
I know, it's a tough decision.
Heads or tails? What's it going to be? Okay, 2 heads, 1 tail. And it is heads. So we're down to our final 2. What are your names? Who are you? Erica and, I'm sorry? and Katie. Erica and Katie, okay. So we're going to decide it right here, heads or tails. And by the way, you can't both be heads, you can't both be tails.
This will go out all night.
So whoever goes first, the other one has to go the other way.
She said head.
So your tail, your heads, okay. Let's see. And it is tails. Tails it is. There's our big winner and our second big winner.
Come this way for your prizes.
And the prizes keep on coming. We've got some more wine, a basket full of wine. And Carrie Zafiro is going to come up here and help me do the draw for that. You all filled out the tickets, the ballot when you came in. We'll be drawing names or a name from that big basket
Okay, dip your hand in, Jack.
to win a basket of wine.
Right at the bottom.
Digging deep.
Kevin Ferguson.
Okay, the winner is Kevin Farquharson of Niagara Falls. Where's Kevin?
Oh, I know him. Tell him that he can come to the hallway at the end of the night and we'll give him his wine.
You can go to the hallway after the evening, Kevin, and pick up your basket of wine there. And we'll certainly help you get it to your car. All right, now, my great pleasure to introduce Sean Bayless. Sean is the CEO of Pathstone Mental Health and Pathstone Foundation. Sean Bayless.
Pathstone extends a warm welcome to everyone here tonight. And this is truly a night of hope and dreams realized and a big shout outs of thank yous. Because we have close to over 300 people in our audience tonight at Fallsview Casino who all dearly care and love our children in Niagara. Margaret Mead once said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that has." And this is a profound quote because it's kind of a miraculous event that has happened across the world at certain times. This very unique phenomena happened right here in the heart of Niagara. And let me share with you an incredible story that has changed the physical landscape and the emotional impact on our children. So before we start this story time, I will need all of you to work with me and participate in a scientific experiment. And there's 3 parts to this experiment. And the first one is there is a general understanding that Canadians are a nation of people who are known for politeness and recognizing acts of kindness. And we're trained early in our life to say our please and thank yous. I can remember my parents frequently reminding me, "What do you say?" "Thank you." Do you know the word thank you when said warmly, with eye contact, and an engaging smile, creates a chemical reaction that triggers off 3 neurotransmitters: dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin, all which contribute to what? Our well-being and happiness. So that's part 1. Part 2 of the experiment is, let me introduce to you the Singing Thank You Bowl. It will enhance our appreciation vibration tonight. So when I strike the Singing Thank You ball, we all with one voice will give a warm verbal thank you. Wow, you guys are good. Okay, so now look at somebody at the table, and I will do the same thing, and I just want you to say thank you to them. Okay, we're going to have to do a little bit on this one. We'll do a final practice. When you hear this bowl, I'll do this like a conductor, and let's see what happens. Are you ready? Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Now, let us go back. This is the third part. Now, this is a very important aspect of this thing. We're going to regress back to being children, a playful state of around 8 years old. Whenever you hear the gong, we as children will say together, "Thank you." So, here is our bedtime story. It's called The Stepping Stones to Pathstone. And the background to the story, it's about a small group of committed people in Niagara. Now, listen very carefully to these instructions. This is the basis of this experiment working. And all those people at the far end, I can see you, by the way, and over there as well, so I don't want you to feel like you're left out, because I'm going to be watching your lips. When you hear your name, or you are associated with a group name, you immediately stand up and remain standing till the end of our Pathstone bedtime story. Okay, here we go. Once upon a time, in a land they called Niagara, in the southern part of Ontario, there was a man who came up with a brilliant idea to build a new building for Pathstone people, and he developed a real business plan to reinvest in the children's mental health. His name was David Alexandru. Well done. David went running as fast as his legs could carry him over to his boss and said, "I have a great idea." He told him his story, and his boss said, "Let's go for it." His name was Alice Katzoff. Alice went and mobilized a meeting with the Pathstone Foundation Board and shared this wonderful idea and opportunity. Their names were Paul Leon, Betty Lou Suter, Denise Matek, Martin Zaremba, stand up, Jim Sisson, David Boychuk, Richard Houghton, Rick Johnson, Roseanne Marsh, Christopher Blake, April Cotton, Del Nagnault, Michael Farrell, and Doug Fraser. And the No, not yet. Okay. Extension, you're really excited about this. The extension to these visionaries were the foundation volunteers and committee members. You're making my heart sing. Foundation Board reached out to the Pathstone Agency Board and ignited them with fire that was growing deep within their bellies. The Agency Board was fired up and they all cheered with glee. You get a double one. The Pathstones Foundation rallied the troops and called upon the cheerful fundraisers to promote our Mending Children's Mind capital campaign. Their names are Carrie Safaro and Diane Kahn, and a secret intelligence mission occurred in the stealth of the night, and Pathstone's team recruited 2 undercover fundraiser consultants, Bill Hallett and Mike Farrell. These amazing women were so excited and full of passion. They were like a ray of sunshine. And through their contacts, they reached out with the Pathstone team and met with Frank Leslie, John Carter, Linda Branscombe-Myers, and Bill Calasina. And the Branscombe Family Foundation put a very expensive stake in the ground. Yahoo! We're on our way. Wait for the gong. So Pathstone's team needed to find 3 people who really cared about our children and our community and who would love to be our chair campaign leaders. Debonair, Debbie Zimmerman, and our lordship, Walter Zenzik. You owe me on that one. And our honorary chair, flamboyant Frank Leslie. The idea was an environmentally sound idea in the world of the Walker family and the industriously, and wanted to be part of this Pathstone party. And the excitement was gaining momentum like a snowball rolling down Sandplant Hill. And Tom Rankin's family all wanted to be part of this new exciting project. And they raised all their shovels in salute. Pathstone team found an ideal location to build beside our new neighbors, NHS. Lynn Penichetti and his family assisted in making this happen, and the resounding echo was like a ripple from a drop of water. We needed to find a local architect, you know, the ones who draws pictures with coloring crayons, and a general contractor who likes to play with big toy trucks. And they were responsible to build this really big, beautiful building. We found them, Emilio Ramondo and Associates and Brower Construction. They were our foundation, and there were other foundations donated. A bear was donated by Algoma Central Corporation. Another foundation donated birds, the Fowler Foundation, and another foundation had strong arms to help lift things, J.R. Armstrong Family Foundation. Another donation, their smiles, they were called the Smile Zone Foundation. And a big bank who had a big, big vault. And in this vault, they had collected millions and millions of dollars bills so you could jump into stacks of money. And they gave us the mortgage money. Are people standing up with those names in groups? RBC, get up there. So, a bright and shiny silver shovel was purchased to start the groundbreaking ceremony of our new Branscombe Mental Health Center. Everybody was there. Our local papers took pretty pictures of our gleaming, smiling teeth. And Bell Media and Cogeco and 91.7 Giant FM and CHCH let everybody know all the excitement that was happening at Pathstones. And very important people in our community who were elected to represent us in government, they're called politicians. They got behind us and raised their voices. Good, keep standing everyone, because there should be no one standing by the end. All the people in Niagara got to the bandwagon and started to give their own personal pocket money and their allowances to support this initiative to help our children go to a place that's safe and friendly, to talk about their problems and get better. And over the next 5 years, we had raised enough money to build a Branscombe Mental Health Center, and we're going to have a big gala and celebrate and give a big thank you shout out to all those who helped make our dreams come true. People from all over Ontario came to our gala to celebrate, including famous celebrities like Dr. Suzuki and Lucienne and Walter Shimarika. You have to stand up. Way to go. You're getting the hang of this. Okay, I'm going to do that one again because they're celebrities. We're nearly at the end. Our Pathstone staff all dug in and helped prepare for our big move 3 weeks ago, packing big black boxes and unpacking these boxes and making their office look nice and comfortable to care for our families. Pathstone staff, you need to get up. Thank you. Now, everybody who is here should be standing now. So everybody stand up because you were part of the gala. You missed that piece. So please get up. Everybody. 700 people, like herding cats a little bit. So I look around the room to see how our community came together to make this happen. So let us raise a glass in celebration of our dream being realized into a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens that did change Niagara, and indeed it's the only thing that ever has. So cheers to all of you. Thank you. Please be seated. Wow, I love that group. So as a heartfelt thing, yeah, please be seated. I owe you one. There's a heartfelt thank you to the incredible community for really transforming a dream into reality. And at this time, Betty Lou Suter is our Foundation Vice Chair, who is highly recognized for serving our Niagara community and has an awesome invitational message for you.
Well, Sean, I'll use my thank you for that wonderful bedtime story. On behalf of the Pathstone Foundation Board of Directors, I want to cordially invite you to a very special event. The official grand opening of the Branscombe Mental Health Center. On March 27, 2012, the Pathstone Foundation Board of Directors unanimously voted in favor of proceeding with the vision of opening a state-of-the-art mental health treatment facility for children and youth in Niagara. After 5 years of hard work and unbelievable support from our community, we're ecstatic to be inviting you as we cut the ribbon on this amazing facility. The official ceremony will take place on Friday, June the 16th at 1 o'clock, with public tours from 2 to 6. On behalf of the children and youth this project is dedicated to, I'll hope you will be there with us to celebrate this auspicious occasion. Thank you very much. Please join us on that date.
And now Jennifer Ferguson, Director of Marketing Services, Niagara Casinos, who will be presenting the Hope Award.
Good evening. And on behalf of the over 4,000 Niagara Casinos employees, we hope you're enjoying tonight's Pathstone Gala. Mental health is one of the biggest unaddressed health challenges of our age. In any given year, 1 in 5 people in Canada experience a mental health problem or illness, and only 1 in 3 will seek treatment. Depression is a leading cause of short-term disability claims around the world, and fear of discrimination is the most significant factor preventing employees from disclosing mental illness in the workplace. Pathstone works to break down these barriers and encourage all of us to turn our rhetoric into action. They have inspired us to champion change in not only our own lives, but also through the lives of others. Niagara Casinos is encouraging our associates to get loud and join the movement to help put an end to the stigma surrounding mental health issues. With campaigns like Not Myself Today, Bell Let's Talk, and Building a Resilient Culture Workshop, we are actively part of the mental health conversation where each and every one of us can be advocates for recovery. And it's through this conversation that we find hope. We are hopeful for the works of organizations like Pathstone, who make it their mission to strengthen the quality of life for families who are dealing with mental health challenges. And this is what tonight is all about, supporting these worthwhile efforts for which we offer Pathstone our gratitude and our congratulations. We are hopeful because of you, people who have come out to support this evening, to listen to the remarkable stories, and to leave with both a better understanding of the challenge of mental health and a commitment to raise awareness. Because you don't see it every day. Unlike other medical issues, there's not always a cane or a crutch showing a problem. But that does not mean that there's not one that needs care every bit as much as any physical ailment. We are hopeful because of RBC and other corporate sponsors, including Niagara Casinos, that make mental health a priority and go above and beyond to make our communities better places to work and to live. These are good reasons to be hopeful, and it is the existence of the Hope Award itself. Established in 2010, the Hope Award recognizes outstanding contributions made to improve the lives of children and families living with mental health problems. And tonight, we are privileged to congratulate and extend our gratitude to Lucienne and Walt Chemerica, founders of Loving Outreach. We heard Sean earlier quote Margaret Mead, "Never believe that a few caring people can't change the world." Walt and Lucienne are excellent examples of just that. Caring people who changed the world for those whose world had forever heartbreakingly been changed. Walt, Lucienne, and their 3 children, boys Dean and Brent, and their beautiful daughter Lisa lived on Roxanne Drive in North St. Catharines. Walt was a fireman and Lucienne a hairdresser. Eventually the kids grew up and moved away, and they began a new phase of their life. In 1999, everything changed when, upon returning home from time spent at their trailer, they found their daughter Lisa had committed suicide. They turned the tragic loss of their beautiful daughter into caring, supportive groups for others also struggling. For the past 27 years, Walt and Lucienne have been the driving force of Loving Outreach, a support group for people living with the loss of someone through suicide. Marg Elliott from the Distress Center suggested they attend a conference about suicide in Seattle. She enlisted the help of the firefighters who raised the money to send Walt and Lucienne. Even though they were receiving counseling, Marg knew they would benefit from being with people who truly understood the scope of what they were dealing with, and that there wasn't a similar program in Niagara. While in Seattle, they were inspired to start a support group. They attended the conference in October, and just after Christmas, Loving Outreach began. The group meets monthly at Silver Spire Church on St. Paul Street in St. Catharines. Some folks come for only a few meetings, while others may come off and on for years.
When she was born, oh my, Walter was working at the fire hall at the time, took me to the hospital. My labor was 2 weeks ahead of time, and I didn't know I was going to have a little girl. I had 2 boys already, and so she was my bundle of joy.
Oh, just like any other kid, she cried a bit, and then she started to crawl, and she liked to swim. When she was just about, 11 months old, took her to the Y, and she'd run off the end of the board as soon as she could walk and dive into the water and swim.
I remember when she was maybe 4 or 5, she had that dog, and she had a little buggy, the little girl, and she would take the dog for a walk in the buggy.
I remember, but she was a little older then. When she was playing her ringettes, she used to score, and she would bring the stick up, and they weren't supposed to bring the stick up, and she'd end up getting a penalty for it. That on the 6th, well, actually it was the 9th of July when we came home from up north, and we found Lisa hanging.
In our case, there was no clue that I had that Lisa would complete suicide. Never. Because she was my happy child. We decided that she didn't die in vain. We were going to try to help others. So the firefighter and Margaret Elliott, who was working with the distress center at the time, all got together, and they sent us to a convention in the state, a suicide survivor convention.
I can safely say without Loving Outreach, I don't think we'd be here right now. It's been a haven for me, and a place where the healing started.
Walt and Lucienne, the founders, have created a safe place for us to come and explore how we feel. Everyone's loss is different. And like Peter said, that's when the healing actually started, when people will say, oh, I feel like that too. Because death by suicide isn't like death by natural causes. There's a whole different grief component involved. So not everybody gets that. And if it hadn't have been for the support and love and concern of this group, I don't know what my life would be like.
Yeah.
I think now Walt and I are getting older, and we've been at it for 27 years. And I think it's very important for this group to continue because we need it. We need to talk about mental disease, we need to talk about depression, we need to talk about suicide. Suicide is a sickness just like a heart attack or cancer.
Well, when Lisa first died, it was more or less to try to help yourself by talking to people and so on. And as time went along, you start seeing that by helping out these people, you're doing something back to society, and Lisa didn't die in vain, but mainly that these people need somebody to help them.
Hundreds of people and families have been helped by the support they've received from Loving Outreach. Walt and Lucienne. The Hope Award Committee chose you because you're trailblazers. Out of a magnitude of heartbreak, you planted a foundation for empathy, grew a forum to understand the incomprehensible, and fostered an outreach of steadfast support for those whose lives have permanently been affected by the tragedy of suicide. Walt and Lucienne, for giving hope to so many families, and for believing with your whole heart that healing is possible, we are pleased to present you with the 2017 Hope Award. Congratulations.
Not used to the lights in my face here. Excuse me if I do get emotional. Everyone in the family here knew Lucienne for the great person she was. We lost her to the illness of suicide too soon. Lucienne and I want to thank the committee that chose Loving Outreach and Lucienne and I for this award. We are very surprised and humbled. I want to thank other people who were instrumental in starting Loving Outreach. First off was Margaret Elliott from the Distress Center and Gary Parkins of the St. Catharines Firefighters Local 485 Bingo Committee, who sponsored us to go to Denver, Colorado, to the American Association of Sociology, 27 years, and I still don't know how to pronounce it properly. One of the sessions when we were there was how to start a support group and the benefits of the support group. So when we got back to St. Catharines, George Dart from from George Dart's funeral home, who knew Lisa when she had volunteered with the Special Olympics, he encouraged us, along with Sean Bayless and Margaret Elliott, to start the group. Margaret and Sean helped us out for one complete year, and at the end of the year, they said, "You're on your own." We also are very grateful to Silver Sphere United Church in St. Catharines. They've allowed us to use their room, the Heart Room, for the last 27 years. After 27 years, we've probably dealt with 400 or more families. I don't really know the number, but probably we're low on that. We always said to the people that came to the meetings that we could not change what had taken place. The only thing we could do was try to help cope with the hurt, pain, feelings, and grief. Lucienne and I, our hope is that with an organization such as Pathstone, we will be able to help young people with mental issues, and in time, a support group such as Loving Outreach will not be required. Thanks again for the recognition.
I just want to say thank you for everybody who's been here for us. We didn't expect this. We worked hard at what we did, and we really appreciate that all the support we're getting here tonight. I thank you, and we're very humbled to accept this appreciation. Thank you very much.
Pathstone Mental Health is the regional provider of mental health services for children and youth in Niagara, helping almost 4,800 last year alone. And here comes one of them, 17-year-old Matt Beard of Pelham. 2 years ago, Matt's life was deeply affected by crippling anxiety. He received help from Pathstone, and just 2 weeks ago, Matt was in Ottawa competing in a national improv competition. He'll be studying dramatic arts at Brock University in the fall. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Beard.
Thank you all so much. I was a little nervous about speaking tonight, but after what we all just saw, I'm not nervous anymore. Because I know that when I look out in this room, these are some of the most compassionate and just generous people that I've ever seen. So thank you for that. Yeah. The stories that we've heard tonight and the reason that we're all here, that's enough to make anyone truly touched. Really, anyone in the world could come into this room and just feel deeply moved by what we're all here to do. But as I stand here today, I have to say that I feel especially grateful to everyone at Pathstone because I've battled with mental illness myself, and I'm just hoping that if I can take a minute of your time, I can tell you what my experience was like with Pathstone. So about 2.5 years ago, as I was starting my grade 10 year of high school, I began to notice feelings that I didn't quite understand, feelings that I had never felt before. I remember one day specifically in class, I was sitting there and I got this queasy feeling in the pit of my stomach. And you know, at first I tried to ignore it, but soon it crept up into my lungs, into this sort of tight tension, and then the room started spinning and it moved up into my throat. I felt like I couldn't breathe, and I was terrified because I'd never felt like this before, just out of the blue for no reason. But what I would eventually learn was that this was just some of the symptoms that make up an anxiety disorder. Now, in those first few months, it seemed impossible to describe how I was feeling to anyone. For a while, I legitimately thought that I was going insane because there were thoughts in my head that made no sense, and I knew that they made no sense, but that didn't stop them. That didn't stop the thoughts from terrifying me, or from growing, or from spiraling into just worse and worse versions of themselves. You know, I spent most of my time during that period just lying in bed, trying to wrestle with those thoughts. I missed a lot of school, I couldn't sleep, I wasn't keeping in contact with my friends, and I certainly wasn't pursuing any of my hobbies or doing any of my homework. You know, it was so bad that I couldn't even walk down a crowded hallway without spiraling into a full-blown panic attack. But finally, one day I felt the courage to explain my situation to my girlfriend at the time, and she took one look at me and said, "Matt, that sounds like anxiety. You should probably talk to someone." It was terrifying to admit that I needed help. It was so scary. But I went to my guidance counselor and I said, "Can you please connect me to the right people?" And let me tell you, she connected me to the right people because I was referred to Pathstone, and I can honestly say it was one of the greatest decisions of my life. I got to sit down and talk with one of the most empathetic and kind people I've ever met. She's here today, a therapist named Sarah Connolly. Now, she explained to me that I was not insane and that I was not alone. You know, for the first time I understood that people from all different walks of life experienced anxiety and that the treatment really does work. You know, with Pathstone, I learned a terminology for how to understand how I was feeling, and I learned real strategies for how to deal with that. I learned about coping mechanisms and about my triggers, and I had someone to check in with me every week and make sure that I was safe. Yes, there were still days that were so hard. There were still days that felt like hell, when my mind was a prison and I felt like I was just trying to escape. I remember there were even times when I convinced myself that I would feel that way forever. There was no miracle all at once, but slowly, day by day, and week by week, I made progress. I learned how to breathe and how to meditate and how to feel safe connecting with my feelings. I learned what to do in times of crisis. I learned that exercise and journaling helped me to release extra tension, but most importantly, I learned that my mental health did not need to define me as a person. With Pathstone, I learned how to separate my anxiety from myself and deal with it head on. That was the gift that Sarah gave me, and that was the gift that all of Pathstone has given me. The ability to look at my mental health and say, I'm not afraid and I'm not alone. And now, you might notice that a lot of what I've been saying tonight has been in the past tense, and that's because today I'm proud to say that I have my life back. I have not had a panic attack, an obsessive thought spiral, or an anxiety attack in over a year. I have not missed school due to mental illness in over a year. I have not turned down friendships or new experiences or my passions in over a year. In fact, I found the courage to pursue improvised comedy, just going up on stage without a script. What is that, Before I came to Pathstone, I couldn't even walk down a crowded hallway. And today, I'm standing in front of almost 700 people telling them my story. And I'm not telling you that so you'll clap. I'm telling you that because I want to make you a promise. I promise to all of you today that treatment works. Thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting this organization.
Matt, thank you for sharing your personal story, for one, and with that heartfelt feeling that you were sharing to help them understand what anxiety. Anxiety is very debilitating, as he described, but he went from debilitating anxiety to a sense of liberation and liberating freedom of success. And when you show this type of experience, it gives hope and inspiration to others, especially at Pathstone. And I'm so appreciative that you shared that how Sarah did a great job with you. Thank you, Sarah. Well done. And that's only reflective of many of the therapists at Pathstone. They're incredible with the expertise that they have and how empathic they are. They're doing a phenomenal job. So I thank and I honor all our Pathstone staff. And thank you so much for sharing that with us. Well done.